This is Judson Van Dyne for the Auto Agent, and today we are test driving one of the true icons of the automotive world, the new 2012 Volkswagen Beetle. As you can tell, it still looks like a Beetle, but much more tightly pulled. It's got a little bit of a longer look to it, but still that iconic shape. You know, if you're a fan of cars, you've got to respect this car, and you know, I think it looks fantastic. With the inline 5 that you can get in the Jetta, and it comes standard in the Golf. This is basically built off of the Golf platform, as the previous generation Beetle was. So you know, you're starting with very good stock there, and it has the 6-speed automatic or manual, and the 2-liter turbo coming out later on this year will also have the option to have the twin clutch DSG that you get in the GTI and the CC. It's a good combination. I've driven this before in the Golf. As far as if you want to use the Manumatic feature, it works well, it responds well, and it works well. Let's have a look at the inside of the Beetle. As you can see right away, this car is, the classic Volkswagen candy white, and as they had with the previous generation Beetle, it does have the same color accents falling throughout that you get on the outside of the car. It goes around the steering wheel, as you can see, and then around the entire way around the inside of the tub of the car. And it's kind of a neat feel. It almost feels like metal. Like it's got a really unique feel to it, like a soft, like a hard painted metal. Let's pop it over into the automatic mode, or out of the automatic and into the manual mode, and have a little fun. Now this also comes with the Cassie system, which is pretty impressive. It gives you a proximity sensor. You just have to keep the key in your pocket. Basically, you're good to go. It's a really unique feature. I know Audis have had it for a while, so obviously Volkswagen just brought it over for the Volkswagen brand itself, and it's a pretty high-end feature to have on a sub $30,000 car. I'm pretty impressed with it. Takes corners very nicely. Very happy with that. This comes with the Fender audio system that Volkswagen paired up with Fender to create, and it's an amazing sound system. The general manager of the dealer from which I'm borrowing this car from advised me that it can basically go all the ways up to 30 without any distortion, which is pretty much unheard of in factory sound systems. It's it's really airy and roomy in here for a 2-door compact car. Obviously the back seat isn't it's going to be cozy for 2 people, but nobody buys a Beetle for the back seat space. This is the Premier Plus edition, so you do get the navigation, you get the Fender audio system, full controls, leatherette, and also this massive sunroof, which also kind of neat. Instead of having your usual hard case that goes over, has a screen which you can still see through, so that's kind of a neat feature I've never really seen before in dealing with sunroofs. So who are the Beetle's competitors? It's always been hard to peg. When the first Beetle came out in 1997, I shouldn't say the first Beetle, the new Beetle came out in 1997, it had really no competition. It was a really unique car, it was a coupe, a lot of people who cross-shop the Golf or other compact hatches probably weren't going for the Beetle. People who bought a Beetle bought it because they wanted it. And it had free reign. And then, Cooper, the new iteration of the Mini Cooper came along in the early 2000s, and the new Beetle finally had some competition. Now today, with this Beetle, the Cooper's is as popular as ever, so it's got the stiff competition there, but it also has competition from the new Fiat 500. So you have to look at the price points. These Beetles, you can get a pretty base one for just a bit over 20, so it's a very affordable car. The base Fiats do start under 20, but you do get a lot more car with the Volkswagen. You get an inline 5 with 170 horsepower versus a little 100 horsepower that you get in the Fiat. So it is a more substantial car. The Mini Cooper is going to be it's going to be tough competition, but I think the big differentiator that the Bug may have the leg up on the Cooper is the Cooper had a redesign about a couple of years ago, and no one noticed. It literally looks like the exact same car. They pulled the headlights back a little bit, but it's really looks like the exact same car, where this is a completely redesigned. No one can mistake this with the 97 to 09 generation Beetle. This has an entirely new
people
look.
love this car. They
I've only been driving it for 45 minutes now, and I've had 3 people honk and wave already. And it's the new Beetle. People get excited about it, and that's why people buy these cars. If you want something really practical, you buy a Golf. It's an infinitely practical car. But people who buy Beetles because they want something that expresses their personality. Their car is an extension of who they are, and Volkswagen has really kept that mantra with this Beetle. They've been making this car since the 50s. It's the
So what's the auto agent's verdict on the 2012 Volkswagen Beetle? I think for the money, Volkswagen has priced it properly. It's right in line. It's priced a little bit above the Fiat and just below the Cooper, and with the standard equipment that you get with it, this price point is bang on. And I think of those 3 cars, those are coupes. Those aren't volume cars, but I think Volkswagen has done it right. I think personally, of driving all 3 cars, it has the most character. The only other competitor in that segment that I haven't had a chance to drive yet would be the Hyundai Veloster, and there's a lot of talk about it too, so I'll have to sort of revisit this once I have a chance to drive the Veloster. But I think for the 2012 Volkswagen Beetle, I think it's got a leg up on its competition. It's your typical Volkswagen build quality, which is bang on. And it's got little things like the mood lighting that you can change the color of, the color trim that goes around the speakers and in your interior footlights. So it's got little features like that that help give it that extra character that you only get in a Volkswagen Beetle. So I would say right now, if you're in the market for something that's got some personality, and you don't need a lot of back seat space, and you want something that's a coupe that's small and fun and sporty, I think you'd be hard pressed to find something better than the 2012 Volkswagen Beetle. So I think it's definitely got the approval of the auto agent.